Welcome. In front of me is a Google Pixel Tablet, and today I'll go over unboxing along with a quick overview of this new device from Google. So let's just get straight into it. One thing that I like, Google did include these little pull tabs, which makes it opening this device much simpler. There we go. And also right here. Have it nicely packed in here. I'm gonna set it to the side for now. I have some thick cardboard right here along with some paperwork in between it. Just gonna keep it in here. Then we get a forgotten thing that gets included with the devices, which is a charger. And besides that, we have this dock. So I'm gonna take that out as well. And check out something. So this is actually using a barrel plug, so I will need to take it out as well. As you can see, this is barrel instead of the typical USB-C that you might come to expect. So there we go. I'm gonna set that to the side for now. And let's get a look at the device. There we go. Not as clean as I would like to. Now I assume this has some kind of battery. Oh, there we go. Took a moment for it to turn on. So there's our tablet. I'm gonna also unpack this thing. Actually, I don't need to even do it like this. I can slide it out. There we go. So this is a mesh. I think there might be buttons here. Now I'm saying I think because I actually haven't seen this tablet till not too long ago. I didn't even know that Google has announced the tablet. But anyway, so as you can see, there's a little barrel plug right here. We have some pins right here. And this is magnetically gonna attach the device. So just to demonstrate this. See how easy it is. So if I... Oh yeah, that's on there. So it does find the place where it's supposed to connect pretty easily. It is at a little bit of an angle, so just kind of show you from the side. So this is a table. As you can see, it's a little bit slanted. Not much. So for me right now, this is a little bit. I need to lean back on the chair to actually look at this comfortably. Okay, let's get rid of this. And let's quickly go over the specs of this device. So let's start off with the display right here. So that's a 10.9-inch display, 1600 by 2560 pixels. It's an LCD IPS display, 79.7% screen to body ratio, and 276 pixels per inch. No high refresh rate and nothing really special about this display. It's just a typical display, to be completely honest. Now it is running Android 13 right now, which I believe the newest Android right now is 14. So it might be a little bit behind, but supposedly, I mean, most certainly this device will get update to the newest Android. It is a Pixel device, so you can count on that one. Now moving on, in terms of the cameras for your video calls and stuff like that, because obviously you're not going to be taking photos with this, we are looking at a front and back cameras basically being the same. So back one, just gonna quickly lock it. So back one right over here, that's an 8 megapixel f2.0 wide lens that can record at 1080p 30 frames. And then at the front we have again 8 megapixels f2.0 wide lens, records at 1080p 30 frames. So actually these two lenses are exactly the same actually. Now moving on into some additional things, and just quickly look at something. Okay, so these aren't the buttons. I assume this is probably for like a keyboard, or these are rubberized. I'm not exactly sure what these are. I assume for keyboard, but never seen any device do this kind of thing. Okay, anyway, moving on. We are running right here a Google Tensor G2 processor with 8 gigs of RAM, and that's the only option you can get. And we have two options in terms of storage. One would be 128 and the other one is 256. Both storage types, or both storage come with a storage type of or UFS 3.1. And I don't think there's much more to say about this device. It's a pretty bare bones tablet, to be completely honest. Obviously it's designed to be used indoors as like a appliance, more like maybe you want to use cookbooks and stuff like that in the kitchen. This would obviously fulfill this kind of thing, but it does fall apart or fall behind when compared to some other more powerful devices that will have a better displays, as an example, more RAM and so on. So this one seems a little bit on an underwhelming side, to be completely honest, for a Pixel, but the price here is actually quite substantial for a device of this kind of caliber. So we're looking at about 670 euros, which is not a small price for such a device, I would argue. And just to kind of compare this to other devices, if we're looking at iPad Air from 2022, that is about 550, and that device has an M1 processor. It's going to blast this device completely out of the water. Also, the display that Apple uses, I would argue, is a little bit better. It's a, as they call, liquid retina. It's still an LCD IPS display, but looks a little bit better, I would expect, to be honest. And just to compare it to something else, like a Xiaomi Pad 6, which actually might be less powerful than this, but it costs half the price. Actually more than half. It costs 260 euros and comes with a less powerful processor, but in general will have something like, again, LCD IPS display, but 144 Hz refresh rate. So that's going to be a little bit better. And yeah, like I mentioned, it seems like this device is a little bit more overpriced for what it offers. I might be the only one. Obviously, the big benefit of this kind of tablet will be the stock Android from Google, which obviously comes with all the bells and whistles that you would expect from a Pixel device. So that is great, but I don't think it's actually worth the extra cost that it actually comes with for something that you would usually use indoors only in your house, as a addition to your other devices. And if you already have, for instance, like a Pixel phone, then most of the benefits of a Pixel are already there. So this just should, or arguably wouldn't, give you that much benefit from owning, and you could own something that is way more powerful, like I mentioned, like an iPad Air, which will be significantly faster than this. So that's just my personal opinion. Now, keep in mind, me pointing out an Apple, I am in no means recommending Apple. I don't really like that device. It is limited when it comes down to Android and iOS, or iPadOS in this case. I feel Apple does kind of limit their devices way too much in terms of what you can do on them. So I would recommend other Android devices, other Android tablets specifically, which will in certain cases provide you better specs. But I cannot dispute that Apple will give you probably the best feel for the device. It will look always nice, it will run fast, and probably faster than most other devices with their M1 processors, but you do get to pay more and sacrifice a little bit of things that you might come expect, like the high refresh rate, which the iPad Air, as an example, doesn't come with. So you do get a little bit more performance, but you still get to pay a lot when it comes down to Apple. So Xiaomi, as other example that I brought up, is a great example because it costs significantly less while providing nearly as much. Now the one that I mentioned, the iPad 6, is a little bit dated in terms of the specs, running a Snapdragon 870, but it was released this year, 2023, on April 18th. So it is a relatively new device that arguably for the price you get a really fantastic device here. Now anyway, finishing this off, if you found this video helpful, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and thanks for watching.